So my parents were told this whole list of nevers, I'll never get a job, I'll never go to university, I'll never get married, I'll never have kids, and I was 7. And I think for mum and dad, that was really quite shocking that people who knew me suddenly totally lowered their expectation. So mum and dad just fought the system, and I went to my local junior school. When I became a wheelchair user, I should have been taken out and sent to special education. Back then, special ed was pretty poor. My head teacher forgot to tell the local education authority that I was in a chair. And then one day, I remember Mr. Thomas, my head, came into the class, dragged me out and locked me in a cupboard. That was these days, there'd be a whole investigation. But I remember going home and mum saying, "Oh, what happened to Dad?" I was like, "Oh, Mr. Thomas locked me in the cupboard for a bit." And she's like, "Oh yeah, he rang me." So what had happened, there was a spot inspection in the school and he panicked and he just went, "Oh," and just, and just went, "Oh, we don't know where the key is." I mean, it's really funny. I just thought it was right. But it's actually when I went to high school that we started having problems, and my parents took on the education system and other stuff, because certainly both my parents, Dad used to say to me all the time, "Education gives you choices," and I used to be like, "Yeah, whatever." And then actually you realise your parents are right, and then you realise you turn into them.
No, it's true. But I can was absolutely your mantra, because Tanni, growing up between being born and 7, it was brownies, it was horse riding, it was everything, as you said. The chair was an enabler. It was freedom, not the very opposite of it. And your dad, you would make lots of very prophetic things, that I will do this, I will do that. And your dad, as an architect, with pictures of the world, be it the Taj Mahal or whatever, those were places that he told you were going to do, and you were, yes, I can go there. And of course, that's what you did.
Education can be in lots and lots of different ways, and for me it's so important to look at the individual and look at what help and support they need and how they can get to their potential, whatever their potential is. And that's what we need to spend a bit more time doing now.
Absolutely. So I mean, all your personal experience absolutely infuses what you do now. It's woven through what you do in the House of Lords, and the experience that you bring and the context that you bring and the passion, I think, to fight for those causes and those issues.
Yeah, because one of sort of the expectations of my parents was that, that I've had a very privileged existence in terms of education and sport and those things, and that I have a responsibility to do something for other people. So actually, it's quite powerful writing to someone on House of Lords paper, because they have to respond to us, or tweet, that's another good one. And for me, it's because I've got a lot of those skills to deal with the issues that are out there. That's not to say sometimes it's not really difficult, but there's lots of disabled people who just don't feel they have a voice, and they don't have any ability to fight the system. But, somebody gets a letter on House of Lords paper, they respond. And I mean, one of the things in terms of the Lords is that actually, if you want to give a company a really hard time, you invite them for afternoon tea, because they never say no. And then you can just, and sort of explain why that, they've done things in a way that's not appropriate. So there's loads of different ways to bring about change, and I try and do that in lots of different ways, because the world has moved on, but not as much as we needed to. I mean,
what do you think universities are for today, and also some of the roles, some of the things they could be doing in future?
I mean, it's about education, it's about life skills, it's about opening people's minds, it's about loads of things. I mean, so going back to the bill, actually what a university wasn't clearly defined in the bill. We all think probably we have an idea what a university is, but actually that's very different when you get into legislation. So for me, I think universities are hugely valuable, but the world is moving and changing, and I voted against student fee increases the 3 times that I could, because at the time it felt like the number was plucked out of the air. I don't object particularly to students being charged something, but actually, for me, we're not going to roll back on that. I can't see it's going to happen, that there will be free tuition, as much as personally I'd like it. My husband came from a very poor family. I mean, he only had his school uniform to wear. He didn't have any other clothes. His way out was education. He got a degree at Manchester. He got a PhD there, and then that's, for me, it's such an important route through. So I'm jumping around a little bit here, but it's so important that the value of university is recognised.